How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. We are talking about BNGO today because there was some news that came out from Ark Invest, and we've talked about Ark Invest possibly being interested in BNGO before. There have been some rumors about BNGO and Ark Invest that I want to cover today. Also, I just want to go through some of their big ideas presentation because that's where it's included, the information about BNGO. And I'll kind of take a look at one of their other big holdings, which is PAC-B, which is, again, a company that's somewhat similar to BNGO. It's in the same kind of space, but they do different things. Now, I've covered this a little bit before, but there has been something that, again, in the big ideas presentation just came out yesterday on this, which I know a lot of people will be really interested in. Now, before we get into that, if you guys don't mind hitting the like button, I really appreciate that. Please hit subscribe if you haven't already done that. We're so close to 100,000 subscribers. I really want to hit it soon, so I really appreciate that. Also, there's a link down there to WeBull. They're giving away some free shares, so if you deposit $100, you can get up to 4 shares for free, and there are a couple other things that you can do, like sharing it or starting up an account, stuff like that, funding it, and you can actually win some shares of Facebook. They're giving away 4,000 shares of Facebook, so definitely check out the link down below if you want to start with that. Facebook is about $300 stock. Also, there's a link down there to my Patreon. Now, the Patreon has been talking about this company, Naked Brand Group, and I have not bought into this one. I heard about it maybe a month or so ago, and this is the great thing about the Patreon. Not only do I tell you about what I buy and sell, but people have been talking about this one. I didn't buy in, but you can see it's up 133% today. If you were included in there and you saw them talking about it, you could get some information on it. This is a women's lingerie company, so you could definitely check that out and maybe get in on some of the gains, even the ones that I'm not making a lot of money on, which, I mean, to be honest, we bought in BNGO at $1.25. We're up to $11.29 now, about 5 weeks later. There have been some other stocks that we've had double ups on, and we've done really well. But again, you can get access to 4,500 other people if you join that Patreon. Now, we're talking about BNGO today, and honestly, there isn't much in the news about BNGO. Now, they talk about it a little bit, but the thing that most people are talking about today is the big ideas presentation from Ark Invest yesterday. And this is really interesting. I did a full video on it earlier today, but I did not pick this out. Now, I read through this last night. I did not read every single word. I mean, this is 115 slides or something like that. But what I should have done is I should have searched for BNGO, because a lot of people reached out to me today and talked about how BNGO was included in here. They were saying that there's a big rumor about Ark Invest buying this, and this is something that I've talked about since the beginning of since the beginning of BNGO. First of all, Pacific Biosciences is a company that a lot of people have noticed that Ark Invest holds, and you can see here they actually hold a very good amount of them. They slowly have been selling them off though, but this company they've been holding on to for a long time. They have 238 million in one ETF and 598 million in another. So they are big believers in this company, and they do something similar to what BNGO does. BNGO came out and they had a paper that was on them talking about how they actually did something better than PAC-B, but again, we're not scientists a lot of the time, so we see they did something better and we can't really wrap our heads around how important that one thing is. But you can see here that they are included in their presentation. So a lot of people said, okay, they're optical mapping, that they think that that's going to be important. They think that the whole genomic sector is going to expand, and they've talked about this before, but they think that it's going to grow at 82% annual rate. And they were talking about BNGO here. Now, if you scroll down a little bit here, they say that both long read sequences and short read sequence systems break the genome into smaller fragments, analyze the fragments with high resolution optics. Now, by this, they're saying that this applies to Pacific Biosciences of California and BNGO. But really, that's all we have on BNGO in this entire document. If you search for BNGO, there are 2 matches, there and there. That's it. So a lot of people are saying that this is huge, that they're saying that Ark Invest is going to buy now or something like that. I don't think that's the case. I would love if that was the case, because I am a holder in BNGO and I've held since $1.25, like I said. So if they continue to get talked about by Ark Invest and they are bought by Ark Invest, I think the stock will jump up dramatically. A lot of people that aren't buying into it now would buy into it. But that's not what this is saying, at least from what I can tell. Now, they have been selling PAC-B. Some people have been thinking that's happening because they're going to buy shares of BNGO, and I've kind of talked about that. I don't think that's what's happening, because they wouldn't have to sell PAC-B to shore up some cash for BNGO. I don't think they need that because they have so much money coming through them all the time. It's not like they need to sell off a position to start another position. They have plenty of cash flow going into their accounts to buy these. Now, they have been selling a decent amount, so maybe it's just that they think that the company is maybe overvalued a little bit. Maybe it's that they think that the technology just isn't the best, or they just don't want to be that exposed to the stock. But PAC-B has gone up a lot this year. So they have risen from a very inexpensive stock. And even though they have been falling down over the last 5 days or so, you can see they were only a $3 stock back in July. Now they were up almost 1,000%, and we've seen that with BNGO. Now, BNGO is still a much smaller company than PAC-B. It's only about half the size in terms of market cap, almost exactly. But we could see big moves still. Now, I'm not buying BNGO at this point. I'm not selling it. I haven't bought since my initial investment. I thought about buying more along the way, but I ended up not doing that. But I think this is something to keep an eye on. If Ark Invest does end up buying BNGO, I will be one of the first people covering it, hopefully. Hopefully I won't have anything that night, but this could be something that could send the stock price up. We have some other catalysts coming too, which are just more presentations, more information coming out about BioNano, more information about institutional investors, or maybe some share offerings, stuff like that. But I like the company. I'm still holding on to it. If it goes up much more, I would consider selling a small portion of it just to recoup my cost basis. I almost did that when it was around $13, but I didn't. Now, with BNGO, though, you have to be ready for some declines, too. I mean, we saw the whole penny stock market sell off today, and that's something that you have to be ready for if you're investing in penny stocks like T2 Biosystems I talked about yesterday. I bought around $2.50. Now, I actually added, when it dropped today, I added a decent amount at $2.15. So I think my cost basis right now is around $2.40. I'm right around my cost basis. You have to be ready for this and know whether you want to buy more when it drops or to sell off, or what you want to do. Now, I added more, like I said. I still feel strongly about this. Now, they released earnings yesterday, and they were actually really positive earnings, preliminary earnings for Q4. I think there's just a general sell-off in the penny stock market. Some people are probably taking gains because, honestly, a few days ago, this was a much cheaper stock. But just be on the lookout for these. Again, if you want to look at Naked, take a look at that one too. A lot of people have been talking to me about that one from our Patreon. But let me know your thoughts on BNGO and Naked and TTOO down in the comments below. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. And I will see you in the next video. If you want to see the video that I did on Ark Invest Big Ideas, I'll put it up here on the end screen. Or if you want to see the video on Wall Street Bets, I'll put it down here. And thank you for checking out Patreon and WeBull down below. Bye.